cold. It's been sitting in there all night. And if this takes off like it should, you'll see how fast it starts steaming. And it won't be 5 minutes and you'll see a little bit of steam. But a little bit about the evaporator. Crack this head tank open because I don't want it, you can't let it boil dry. So what I have over here is a float, and this regulates the depth. Y'all take turns getting up there. This is a raised flue pan. The flues come up in the bottom, and they're about 8 inches. The sap goes down between them. Fire comes up under it, and it gives it more boiling surface. If I stretch this pan out like an accordion, it'd be about 16 feet wide. So that added surface area, you really get some evaporation going, and you get the steam out. And that cupola is not big enough, and I need steam hoods to get it out. If I shut the doors and the windows, you can't even see in here. The steam gets, you can't see across the room. But it's a lot of steam. So this float regulates the flue pan. I keep it an inch over top of the flues, and then it drops down to the regular pans, and that float on the other side keeps it an inch there. These have dividers. The sap leaves here, comes up the tube, and comes in this side of the flue pan. And the raw sap, as it cooks down, you demand more. And it pushes it around this way and into that float. And through that float, it goes into the front syrup pan. And then it's got dividers, and it works its way around that through a tube on the other side, and then back through that front pan. And I set the thermometer on the other side at 0 for boiling water, and it goes 0 to 7. 7 degrees over the boiling point of water is pretty close to syrup. So when I draw it off, I put it in that pan over there and finish it with propane. And that way I can get it in sacks. And I use a hydrometer to know the exact sugar content.
How can it steam? It usually steams if it's watery. How can it steam? Because it usually steams when you have water in it.
Well, it's just like water coming out of the trees, 3% sugar content. And just you see the little wisp of steam starting to rise off, and it's just been a few minutes. Yes.
Hello.
Okay, yeah, the hot parts of the evaporator are the rails that the pans are sitting on, and the stack. That gets about 900 degrees, about 600. And then the sides down here where the stainless is at, it's warm, but you'll be able to lay your hand on it. Even with 1800 degree fire in there, it does. Now the pans up here will get to the boiling point. They'll get about 210 degrees. But yeah, it's starting to heat up. It's just water. Yeah, I don't have sap. I had to pull the taps. Season's over. And I was letting people, I have those spoons over there. I pull up a spoonful of near syrup and let people taste it straight out, unfiltered and everything.
Wow.
But sorry, I'm not going to pour 5 gallons of syrup in here and reboil it. I don't want the city water, because that's all I use is purified water. When I make candy and you rinse the candy machine out, I use purified water, and then I'm comfortable making syrup with it, or making more candy or butter. Maple syrup, sugar, candy, and butter are all pure maple. And I'll show you the chart where you cook it to different temperatures on a candy thermometer and treat it different, and you'll get to taste everything. And different confections, because of their different consistency, have a almost a different taste, but it's all pure maple syrup. Now my maple laranja and my maple citrus vinaigrette, those are two unique things right there. I'm the only nut in the world that makes them. I think I'm the only nut in Kentucky that makes all the confections. You see that went from room temperature water, and that's starting to steam. There's so much more liquid in here that it takes a little longer, but this one boils harder. And when I keep it fired up, the reason the pan is tilted in at the top and you've got this tall divider is because it almost boils over in here. That's just how much it boils this high. Yes. How long is the season? It depends. You gotta have freezing nights and thawing days. I tap the 1st of December. I pulled the taps Sunday. Pulled the taps Sunday after church. Yeah. And with the vacuum. Now, if you just drill a hole and run it hang a bucket on the tree, about 8 weeks. But the natural bacteria in the sap first turns to like a jelly, and then it hardens like in little wooden plug-looking deals. And that's natural healing. I got a little leak I got to deal with. Always got something to deal with. And it's just like them sink parts I got to put on that sink. That thing blew apart yesterday. And it's like, I don't need this. But yeah, when it really gets rolling, and I have, during the season when I'm making the syrup, I have to fill that firebox with firewood about every 15 minutes. So this one's starting to get some wisp of steam to it. But like I say, there's so much more liquid in here, and those pans are only an inch deep. This one's essentially 8 inches, 9 inches deep. So altogether, when I'm ready to boil, it holds 50 gallons of sap. And then it always, hopefully, have a couple of hundred in the head tank, and this is all gravity feed over to the float. Y'all daring each other to see how long you can touch the side of it?
I dare you to do it.
Oh, I know where to touch. You can touch it right now. It feels like it's about 130 degrees. But don't touch the black part down there because that gets as hot as the fire just about. But I do have a 2600 degree fire blanket, ceramic blanket inside, and then I line the firebox with, I think it's 3600